from talking about our beautiful sponsors, Anchor. And we're about to get ready to call, I'm sorry, my bestie buddy, my best friend, my god sister, Marquita. And she's going to also talk to us just for a few minutes about manifestation as well. Hope you all enjoy it, Melody, I'm sorry.
Hello,
Hello, Marquita. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good. How is it being in the big city of Jonestown, Mississippi?
It is awesome.
Tell your grandma I said happy birthday. I think I'm late. No, it's today, right? And
Yeah,
your granddad's
yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah. And Kennedy's was yesterday,
Oh, okay. So y'all down there having all type of birthday parties.
and you know it.
Okay, turn up. Well, for podcast world, this is Marquita Perry. Marquita, I know for a fact that I said your job title wrong. So can you tell them what you do for a living because I know I said it wrong.
Application support specialist.
She's an application support specialist. I think I said you were a computer analyst. I think that's what I said. So I apologize, sister. That is what I said. So, today we're talking about manifestation. And I've already
Mhm.
given the audience a definition, the Webster definition of manifestation. But I wanted to know, what is your definition of manifestation?
Well, I guess to me, manifestation is anything that an ideal goal or whatever that comes true. You know, um, and it can be unexpected or it can be something planned.
Oh, okay. Anything, the idea goal, it could be unexpected or planned. What was your first encounter with manifestation, do you feel? Like, what was the first thing where you noticed, like, oh, I thought about this, or maybe I talked about it, but I didn't necessarily plan for it. But, oh, this happened because I knew I was thinking about it and I wanted it to happen.
Okay, so my experience with manifestation is through um, word, the word manifestation, word power.
Okay.
And I know everyone been told that your words have power.
That's a fact.
So this was this was March. I know exactly. This was March 2014. Uh, my manager at the time, he was getting ready to make a move to Bossier City, Louisiana. Uh, and this was somebody that when I first started working in IT, it wasn't my first job, but it was my first job in my field. And he was the one that trained me and taught me a lot of things or whatever. So we was rather close.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were saying our goodbyes, he said, "Marquita, I'm gonna miss you most of all." And I was like, "Whatever, Andy. I will be down there with you in 6 months." Mind you, I was not thinking about moving at the time. I was working two jobs. I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do, but I was like, "Oh, I need to be doing something else because I'm kind of tired."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I didn't. I wasn't serious. I wasn't serious what I said to him. I was just like joking, like, "Whatever, Andy. I'll be down there in 6 months. You ain't gonna miss me. I'm gonna be right down there with you." So, also back to I was working two jobs. So at that point, I had been working two jobs for 2 years.
Okay.
And I was working 9 hours at one job, and at the other job, I worked at 6 to 7, sometimes 8 hours. And for a fact, it was like rare that I was off from both jobs at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working those two jobs off basically roughly 3 to 5 hours worth of sleep. Like I'll work my full-time job from 4 to 1, and then I'll get off, shower, in the bed at 2, back up at 5 because I had to be at the part-time job at 6. So I leave the part-time job between 1 and 3. It just depends. Like if it's something somewhere local, then I'll get off at 1. I'm back at home, shower, and I could probably take an hour nap before I had to be at my full-time job at 4. But if we was off site somewhere, it might take me a couple hours to get back home so I could shower, change clothes. So, basically I'm just running right into work off 3 hours of sleep. So after doing that for 2 years, because I'm just like, I'm the Energizer bunny. I'm unstoppable. Like when I know I need to do something or something needs to be done, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. So I know I need to pay bills, even though my bills weren't that expensive, but, I had made some bad financial decisions, getting credit cards and loans and stuff like that, so I was paying stuff off. And, I was close to paying some stuff off, but I still had some stuff to go, some things to go. So I had a conversation with the Lord. I'm like, Lord, your girl can rumble with the best of them, but your girl is tired. I'm like, it's kicking my tail. And it was affecting my full-time job because sometimes I was late for work because I done overslept, so I'm dealing with that. Then it started affecting my health because by me working so much, I wasn't cooking for myself. So I'm eating out I'm eating fast food 3 times a day. When I go to the part-time job, I get up that morning, I'm stopping at McDonald's, getting me my coffee and, my little breakfast sandwich and, going to the part-time job. And then during the lunch, I'm going to fast food somewhere. And then in between, when I'm going to the full-time job from the part-time job, I might grab, a snack or something like that because I needed so much food to fuel me, to keep me going. And then, I'm in my full-time job and, they was cooking at first, but they had stopped cooking, I want to say at that point. So I had went to the doctor just for, my little checkup or whatever, come find out my blood pressure was high, it was like 200 and something over 114. And so they was, they wanted to put me in the hospital, and I'm up there like, because and the killing part about it, I was working 2 jobs, but I still didn't have health insurance. Wow. So, yeah. So I'm down there. I'm like, please don't send me to the emergency room because I cannot afford that bill. Like, I'm working 2 jobs trying to pay all bills, so I can't afford a hospital bill. No. Yeah. So they, told me just, okay, they gave me some emergency high blood pressure medication, told me to lay down, don't move or nothing. And when they came back in there like an hour later, I was at Avery hearing, my pressure was down. So they gave me a prescription for high blood pressure medication, and they wanted me to come back, to see if, how my pressure was doing. And, I came back and it was okay, but it still wasn't optimal. Mm-hmm. So, I've been on high blood pressure medication ever since then because, at this point, the medication really was regulating my pressure. It don't stay low on its own. So that's something I'm definitely working on. Well, I need to be working on. Let me change that. In my mind, I'm working on it. I know what I need to do, but I haven't put that
you haven't manifested that part
place.
Right now.
I haven't manifested that part. I haven't put it in place. But I know my stories be long. You should have called someone else. But
so how did you get to Andy? Because you eventually got to Andy. Take us there.
Okay.
Take us how you got to Andy.
Okay. Well, so I got laid off. And like I said, I had the conversation with the Lord, I could ride with the best of them, but your girl Ty, I need some relief. And he told me to quit my part-time job. I'm like, no, Lord, that's not what I need right now in my life. I need more money. I need another job. Yes, I was like, no, that ain't what, that is not going to fix my problem. And he said, no worries, my child. I got you. And so when I got laid off, I said, wait a minute now, I thought you said you had me. This is not having me. This is destroying me. Like, what is going on? So I was still working the part-time job, and I had went full-time with it. And I was like, okay, the part-time job, cool. But Lord, let's be honest. You know that is not finna pay no bills no long time. Like, I'm going to end up with another job. I'm like, Lord, right now, I'm in your hands. Like, my next step, my next step gonna be your will, like whatever way you want me to go. Cause right now I don't know, and I have no idea which way to go. So he said, okay. I said, so what do I need to do? And he said, quit that part-time job. I was like, no, who is this talking to me? Because he ain't hearing nothing I'm saying. Because, like, did he not hear me? Like, the part-time job ain't going to pay the bills, but he want me to quit that job too? Still? He was like, I told you to quit it in the beginning. And so, he wanted me to jump out there.
Yeah. And
show him that I had faith, and I had faith in him, and that he was going to deliver me where I needed to be. Mm-hmm. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it because I ain't got nothing else to lose. I'm looking at, like, I had called my grandma. I was like, it was push come to shove. I'm like, and I didn't even realize, like, because he could have got me laid off sooner. But where he got me laid off at, my lease was about to be ending in like a month. My lease was ending in about a month.
Make sure you say what Miss Perry said to you.
Oh. So when I went to my grandma, I was like, Grandma, I'm looking for another job. I said, well, push come shove, my lease about to be up. I'll just move back in with you. And she said, nah, baby, you're going to find you something.
And you and your grandma, what I want y'all to know, podcast world, Marquita and her grandma are extremely close. So please don't think that there was no. God, I don't want you. There was God using her grandmother to keep pushing her where she needed to be.
Exactly. And another thing is, I was the last grandchild left with my grandmother. Like, my sister, brother had moved out, my cousin, everybody was gone except me. And I know I'd be, long, but just bear with me. I didn't want to leave because, the people in the public was like, your grandma older, your grandma don't need to be there by yourself. I'm like, they right. Like, how am I going to leave my grandma like that? And, I was going to work, but I was kind of like, I was just going through the motions. And like, you had moved to Memphis, Gina had moved to South Haven, and one day, I was in the den, and I thought I was watching TV, but I was looking out the window, and I didn't realize I was looking out the window until my grandma said, "Child, what is wrong with you?" And I was like, "What you mean?" She said, "Why is you staying out that window like that?" And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, "I am staying up. What is wrong with me for real?" And she was like, I don't know, what it is or whatever, but whatever it is, she said, you got to do what's best for you. And that's how, like, that was what I needed to hear to explain to her, like, what I was feeling. And I was like, well, all my friends are moving out. It's like they're taking the steps to the next phase of their life, and I feel stuck here. And I'm ready to go. And she said, well, go. And I said, but I don't want to leave you alone. You getting older. Like, I don't want you here by yourself. And she was like, I will be okay. She was like, and, if you get you another place, if I, get too sickly or too old to be here by myself, I can come stay with you anytime. She was like, so you don't have to stay here for me. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. She was like, because that's going to make you miserable. So that, she was the reason why I stepped out. And when I stepped out, I kept stepping. you know. So that's why I was working the 2 jobs, because I wasn't going to fail.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to have to ask my parents or nobody for money or anything. Like, I got to be able to prove to myself that I can take care of myself, you know. So, I got laid off, and, you know, the Lord told me to quit the part-time job. So, you know, I wrote the letter. You know, it was the hardest letter I ever took. I mean, I ever seen or whatever. The letter was hard. It wasn't like an emotional attachment. It was just like, I'm really doing this. This is crazy. This is crazy. And I was like, well, you know what I'm saying? If you go do crazy for the Lord. So, you know, I sent the email or whatever. So, like, the next day we had a store to do, and, you know, my store manager or whatever talking to me, and she was like, you know, oh, I'm so sorry that you're leaving and this and that. And, you know, other people overheard, they was like, didn't you get laid off for your full-time job? Like, yeah. They was like, ain't this your only income? I'm like, yeah. And they was like, so why you quitting this job? And the only answers I had for them was, the Lord told me to. The younger people looking at me like I'm crazy. It was a couple old people like, you know, go with the Lord, baby. So, you know, I'm like, I have no choice at this point. Like, I got to see this through. So when I think it was you, my birthday was coming up, and you was like, what you want for your birthday? I was like, a job, you know. So it was the week of my birthday. It wasn't on my birthday. It was the day before. That's when, I had called Andy and I was like, hey, I don't know if you heard, but I got laid off. And he said, no, they laid you off for real. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, you know, I was wondering, would you possibly have a position for me? Because I was putting in applications, but, you know what I'm saying, I want to, you know, seek out every avenue. You know, if I was going to do this, I was going to do it.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. He said, put in an application. He said, I'd love to have you down here. I'm like, great. So, and he was like, he'll be able to meet my salary. I'm like, great. I ain't losing no money, but, you know, great. You know, so my old director of mine that had left before I got laid off, named Michael, he reached out to me. He was like, hey, Marquita, what's going on? I heard you got laid off. I was like, yeah, who right here tell my business though? But yeah, I got laid off. And he was like, you know, do you have any prospects? What you doing? What you doing? And I was like, well, you know, I'm putting in applications. And I reached out to Andy. Andy said I can come down there. He was like, you're not going down there. I said, yes, sir. He said, you really going down there? And I said, honestly, I don't have any kids. I don't have a husband. My lease is about to be up in a month. Like, if I was going to move, now would be the time. Like, you know, the Lord had allowed me to be laid off in a perfect storm of my life. And he was like, well, you know, there's another casino down there, you know, Diamond Jacks. I think they looking for application for, especially I can put in the work for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. But in my head, I'm like, I don't know those folks. I'm going over here with Andy yet. But, you know, so I was like, you know, I'm going to see them both through, because I don't like to be one of those people like, you know, somebody looking out on me and I'm not really putting in the effort. So I put in an application at both. I didn't put on there that I knew Andy. I didn't want to seem like some type of favoritism, but when his manager called, like, I don't know if the guy was having a bad day, but it was just like, it was dry and he I don't know. He didn't feel like that I was interviewing him. Like, I'm telling him about myself. Like, he was just so nonchalant and just uncaring, like not engaging me at all. So I'm like, it's fine. I said, because I know Andy, I was like, I don't even have to deal with this guy. I can go straight to Andy. But when the director for Diamond Jakes called, you know, me and Chris talked for about 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, wow. I said, but no, I don't know them over there. I know Andy. I'm going to go where I know. And so when it came salary time, Andy already told me he could match my salary. But I'm like, I really don't want to go Diamond Jacks anyway. So, of course, I'm going to tell them I want more. And they said, okay. And I'm like, what? I'm like, but, I'm going to Andy. I'm like, but they said, okay. I don't want it to be about the money, but I don't want to, when you got an opportunity, you have to take it. So
gotta seize them.
I took it, and on top of, an increase in salary, they also gave me a relocation bonus. Oh. So my moving, everything I needed to do to get down there was taken care of. So, because I had stepped out on faith, I know this is a manifestation podcast, but, faith and manifestation, like all that, to me, it goes together. But I started that job, I called Andy and I was like, hey, I'm coming down there, but I'm going to Diamond Jacks. And he was like, that's fine, Marquita. He said, you got to do what's best for you. He was like, I'm happy for you. You're going to love it down here. And I started September the 2nd at Diamond Jacks.